A political earthquake is shaking the West. For months, streets across Europe exploded with fury. Millions demanding a ceasefire in Gaza, sanctions against Israel, and an end to what protesters called genocide. Leaders resisted. But now, with the world converging on New York for the United Nations General Assembly, the pressure has cracked governments wide open. Britain, Australia, France, Spain, once hesitant, are executing the most dramatic U-turn in decades: formal recognition of the State of Palestine. Britain's Keir Starmer, long accused of bending to Washington's line, has flipped the script. He insists recognition is not a reward for Hamas, but a last-ditch effort to salvage the two-state solution before it disappears entirely. His timing, just days before his first UNGA as Prime Minister, could not be more calculated.
With the actions of Hamas, the Israeli government escalating the conflict, and settlement building being accelerated in the West Bank, the hope of a two-state solution is fading. But we cannot let that light go out. That is why we are building consensus with leaders in the region and beyond around our framework for peace. This is a practical plan to bring people together behind a common vision and a series of steps, including the reform of the Palestinian Authority, that takes us from a ceasefire in Gaza to negotiations on a two-state solution. We will keep driving this forward.
Australia followed immediately. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese framed recognition as the world's best chance in decades to end the bloodshed, isolate Hamas, and force Israel back to the table. Canberra's alignment with London and Ottawa marks the first time 3 of the Five Eyes openly defied Washington on a core Middle East question.
This is the best chance the world has had in decades to disarm and isolate Hamas and deliver self-determination for the people of Palestine. This is a moment of opportunity for nations of goodwill to work together, to see the hostages taken in the atrocities of October 7, 2023 returned immediately and with dignity, to bring about an immediate ceasefire and to bring an end to the humanitarian catastrophe which is being inflicted on Gaza, to see vital aid, food, water, medicine flow to people in need. Australians want the killing to stop.
France has added diplomatic weight, with Emmanuel Macron pledging to formalise recognition during UNGA. But unlike Starmer, Macron wrapped his move in conditions: a demilitarised Palestine, a reformed Palestinian Authority, Hamas out of the picture. He called it the beginning of a journey Paris hopes will position France as the architect of Europe's Middle East policy.
What France wants is an immediate ceasefire. What France wants is for the 48 hostages to be released without delay. What France wants is the return of humanitarian aid to Gaza. What France wants is a possible day after in Gaza, with Hamas dismantled and removed from power. What France wants is a reinvented, renewed Palestinian Authority, school curricula that do not teach hatred, and the conditions that will enable peace to be at the heart of this Palestinian Authority. What France wants are 2 states living side by side in peace. A state of Israel that recognizes a state of Palestine, a state of Palestine that recognizes a state of Israel, a state of Palestine that will be demilitarized and live in peace alongside Israel.
Spain, by contrast, dropped all diplomatic caution. Pedro Sanchez went further than any Western leader, accusing Netanyahu of committing genocide in Gaza and blasting conservatives in his own country for refusing to confront Israel. His language has inflamed divisions inside the EU, exposing the split between cautious centrists and outright confrontationists.
There are people who are surprised by our position, who criticize it, who condemn it, who label it opportunistic, but they do not know the people of Catalonia and the people of Spain. Neither Catalonia nor Spain remains silent or hides. To the Spanish right wing, I say that in addition to their bad manners, they will also have a guilty conscience. Because defending the cause of Ukraine and Gaza is not about left or right, it is about humanity, it is about justice, and it is about peace.
But outside parliaments, anger has not subsided. In Paris, demonstrators accused leaders of hypocrisy, swift to sanction Russia over Ukraine, but blind to Gaza for nearly 2 years. In London, residents branded Starmer's move too late, some calling it mere symbolism. Yet the public verdict is clear. Civil outcry forced leaders to act.
It's very late. Will it help? We hope so anyway. We have hope because we cannot continue to condone genocide and famine and everything that is happening in Gaza and the West Bank. It is totally unjust, and we have to take action because Spain has already done what is necessary. Other countries around the world are doing what is necessary, and we hope that France will also do what is necessary to resolve the ceasefire issue and stop this genocide and famine.
Who cares? Sorry, but, I think it's disgusting the way that Starmer fawns up to him. Where's the backbone? I couldn't see someone like John McDonnell or Zach Polanski doing that. You've got to stand up. Even Ed Davey, didn't he refuse to have anything to do with Trump? It is nauseating, isn't it?
I think that the U.S. right now is so devolved from their own. I just don't think that the U.S. the U.S. government right now is really. I don't think that they care that much about the Palestinian issue, and I think that they're so stuck in their own bubble.
But the shockwaves stop at Washington and Jerusalem. Netanyahu calls recognition a prize for terror, doubling down on settlements and promising no Palestinian state west of the Jordan. And Donald Trump, the man every Israeli leader listens to, broke publicly with Starmer, insisting hostages must come first. With the Yonje about to open, the West is split wide open, Europe bending under protests, Israel entrenched, and Trump immovable.
I have a clear message to those leaders who recognize a Palestinian state after the terrible massacre of October 7th. You are giving a huge prize to terrorism. And I have another message for you. It will not happen. There will be no Palestinian state west of the Jordan.
We have to remember October 7th, one of the worst, most violent days in the history of the world, not just there, the history of the world. And I got to see the tapes, and I wish I didn't see them, actually. But I got to see them. And I want an end. I want the hostages released. And I think it's going to be okay. But it has been a brutal period of time. But this has been going on for a long time. They're going to put the hostages in front of any attack. And that's pretty brutal. We haven't heard that one in a long time. So we have to remember that. So I have a disagreement with the Prime Minister on that score. Okay? One of our few disagreements, actually.
Too little, too late. Recognition born not from strategy but from civil unrest. At the UN, Western credibility is on trial, fractured between those bowing to protest and those refusing to move. Palestine has the flag, but not yet the state, and the war grinds on.